Guys, tonight we have potentially big news for all Chinese stocks, mainly the companies like NIO, Xpeng and Li Auto, specifically because they're the ones which we often do cover over here. So yeah, tonight I'm giving you an important update on all that you need to know. So if that does sound like a good video, please do like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. It's a very ambitious goal, but I know that with your help, I think that we can do it. So of course, come and join us on Discord. That's a Discord all about stocks. The link to that is in the description. Of course, it's a great place to be. We have over 100 members and the chat is very active. Right then, so we're going to jump straight into this one. We're going to have a quick look at all of these stock prices, and then we're going to talk about the main, elephant in the room, which is a potential Chinese delisting of these stocks. And of course, this is potentially, and of course, it's not necessarily confirmed yet, but this is potentially big news for these stocks. So whether you believe it or not, whether you think it matters to you or not, I'm going to be giving two perspectives and then just a generalization, and then specifically what I would do. So we're going to start off by looking at NIO, because NIO was the one which we saw first in last night's episode when we did another update on that, and I said that the stock price is probably going to make a little bit of recovery and then continue to rise upwards. And I do believe that I said a similar thing for Xpeng, which is of course another Chinese car manufacturer. We have not looked at Li Auto for a while, but I think we're going to start off looking at NIO, then move along on the list. You can see that with NIO, we saw this huge rally. Of course, this was due to increase in price targets, expectations being increased, and then we saw this sell-off, and I think that was due to a few of the buy ratings from analysts being degraded slightly, so the prices were pushed down a bit, and I don't think that is a bad thing at all. We also had some negative articles from companies coming out about this company, but generally speaking, I do think that was only just a fair, bit of depreciation and a fair adjustment to basically revalue the stock at a level where it was more comfortable, and I don't think that was a bad thing. Now, whether you think that this delisting thing is important, or even if it is or is not going to happen, what is going to happen is there is going to be an effect due to the news, or at least due to the rumours. And of course, that is probably going to be a negative push on the company. I think whichever way you choose to go in these companies definitely depends on the style which you wish to adopt, but I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. First, let's have a quick look at Xpeng. So if we have a quick look, Xpeng on the 1 month chart is kind of moving in a similar fashion. There, they saw a little bit of recovery towards yesterday, and of course since then we've seen a big sell-off simply due to the news which has come out, and I do believe Li Autos will be showing us a similar pattern. In fact, it looks like it might even be slightly worse for Li Autos, because they did not actually see that recovery on the day when NIO and Xpeng saw quite a decent recovery. This company did not see a recovery barely at all, so I think this one has been impacted the most, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think this is definitely the least talked about of the two companies, or of the three companies, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, the big elephant in the room, like I said, is the potential delisting of, Chinese companies on the American stock market. And of course, the American one is, generally speaking, the one which we all trade, or at least we all trade around, things like the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, a lot of our big stocks are on there. And of course, if companies from China do get delisted, they will probably not be able to be publicly traded by people all around the world. And what that will mean is that you will no longer be able to buy NIO stock or Xpeng stock or even Li Auto stock if this does go through. Now, of course, that would be a bad thing, because there would be no more improvements in the stock price, and a lot of people would be trying to get out before it does sell off, simply due to the fact that, of course, no more action, no more profits. People don't want that, and it would probably be the best time to sell off. Now, of course, so far this is apparently just still rumours. We do have this article apparently from Barron's, which is saying that the China delisting bill and then what it will potentially mean for Xpeng and NIO and Li Autos. Of course, you could go and check that one out if you would like to, because I do think they are talking about a similar topic, so shout out to them. But I am seeing a potential pattern here. So now let's talk about the two trade styles and what's going to happen. So either way, whether this is true, whether this is false, we have seen the way that these kinds of pieces of news can impact a company like this. And of course, all of these companies are probably going to see a dip in the next few days or weeks, whether this is or is not true. So of course, people will be worried. Some people will be trying to sell out now with a big profit, which they have got from the huge gains on these companies in the past, few months. And of course, some people will just be happy to get out now. Other people are not going to believe this news, and fair enough to them. If they don't want to believe it, they're probably going to stick with it, if not buy more. But I think we're definitely going to see some, changes when we do get the news to be officially announced. So how would I go about these times? Because I do believe personally it is going to be volatile times, and of course, I am not a financial advisor, but I can give you my opinion. So here is my approach. I think there's definitely two approaches to take to this one. I think there's a cautious approach, and then a more a more risky approach, let's say. So for the more risky approach, I definitely think you've got to go for the style of potentially not selling your stocks, face the risks, face the potential delisting of the company, and maybe even buy more if you are so confident in the company you can't see it being delisted. I think this goes for all three companies. So yeah, potentially is a good time to stock up on more if you do believe this is going to be just fake news. But if you do see potential in these rumors, you should probably go for a more cautious approach. Possibly not buy any more positions if you already have a small amount. Maybe sell off some with a nice profit if you have such a nice profit, and don't buy any more for the time being. But that's just how I would trade it. So of course, if you want my actual 100% realistic view on how I would hold this one, I actually do hold some Neo and some Xpeng shares, and I am not selling them at all yet. But do bear in mind, I only hold a very small position, and of course that is not necessarily the most advisable news, but that's just what I am doing. I am not too bothered either way, because even if it does go delisted, like I said, mine is only a small position. If I make a profit, I make a profit. If I make a loss on that, then I make a loss on that. But that's just my personal opinion. So I hope you enjoyed the quick video. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, goodbye.